All right, I'm here with Jason Jewell to answer a couple of the questions that we've gotten during masterclass sessions, but haven't been able to address at much length. So, Jason, first question. How would I explain guardrails to clients without getting into the technical weeds?
So as we think about retirees have a couple main concerns. Number one, their money lasting a lifetime. Number two, what will cause disruption of their income? Those guardrails have a direct association with the balances and the resources at our fingertips, as well as the income that we're eligible for. And so if we were to use a metaphor, a popular metaphor might be riding on a plane. So we've departed from New York. We're flying to LA. Throughout our route, inevitably, we will run into some variables. We'll run into some wind. We might run into some inclement weather. And we'll need to adjust our path to circumvent the weather, to potentially have a detour around a storm. And that storm is going to be the choppiness of the market, the volatility of the market, or the lumpiness of someone's demands, their income needs in retirement. You know, the roof has an issue and they need to replace their roof. Well, they're going to need to take a larger distribution out of their investment account. Now they're going to have less resources. How would that impact their spending capacity? So there's truly a marriage between resources and income. And it's monitoring your resources along the way and making sure that we continue on the path.
Question two. How have you pivoted with clients from talking about probability of success to guardrails and adjustments?
Justin, it was a big concern of mine. Here I've been working with clients for a decade plus, preaching probability of success, helping them navigate their financial plan. And I ended up kind of having paralysis by analysis. What I realized was I just had to rip the Band-Aid off. And so once I had my very first conversation about guardrails, I learned that it was my own roadblock and hesitation, and it wasn't the client's. And so the pivot is really quite simple. The pivot is the tools we've been using in the past that focus on probability of success. They're really focused on accumulation as you're accumulating your wealth. And once we have retired and we're no longer focused on accumulating wealth, we're in turn focused on living our wealth. And that's really related to your resources and the spending capacity that your resources support and the adjustments that we need to make along the way as our resources fluctuate, whether that's market volatility, inflation, so on and so forth.
So you found any of those fears were really kind of self-created.
100%.
All right. How early would you start using Income Lab with a client, whether that's age or years from retirement?
5 years pre-retirement through end of plan, end of life.
So not an age thing, just related to when you're talking about spending capacity and so on.
Yeah, 5 years gives clients the opportunity to get a taste of what the guardrail system looks like. It gives them a flavor for here's my resources, here's my spending capacity. And then ultimately they can do some tracking along the way just to see of the markets from now to 5 years from now when I would retire, what changes would I have had to have made within my financial plan or my spending capacity?
Makes sense. Get them used to the new framing. All right. Last one for today. Many clients are aware of the 4% rule, probably saw it online. How do I talk with them about why this doesn't apply to their situation, especially if their withdrawals are higher or lower than 4%?
If you believe in the 4% rule, what do you need me for? It truly is that simple. Now, we can go a little further than that. And that's the reality of retirement's dynamic. And a lot of times clients will retire pre-Social Security benefits. And so naturally, if they need 10,000 in income and don't have any income sources, no longer have wages, we're going to need to take larger distributions early in retirement before Social Security kicks in. So there's likely going to be greater than a 4% distribution up front. On the other hand, retirement is very dynamic. And we oftentimes refer to that retirement smile. You know, as we retire, we typically are healthy earlier in our retirement. We're also a little bit more motivated in our retirement. We want to make up for lost time and potentially pursue some of those bucket list items. And oftentimes our clients do spend more money early in retirement for a series of years. And that does typically exceed the 4% rule. And then as they get more later in retirement, they may travel less, stay more local. Then of course, at the end of plan, end of life, potentially a healthcare event and a larger expense.
Yeah, and for those who are interested in that last piece, Derek Tharp and I wrote a paper a couple of years ago now where we called that the retirement distribution hatchet. So lots of withdrawals early on, and then kind of the head of the hatchet, and then fewer lower withdrawals as you get older, get into a nice ergonomic handle of the hatchet. All right, thank you everyone, all the masterclass participants. We'll do more of these as we get more questions over the course of the class. And thank you, Jason.
Thank you.